We support the one China policy. We support all that we've done in the past. But that does not mean that China has the ability, the jurisdiction to go in and use force to take over Taiwan. So we stand firmly with Japan and with other nations not to let that happen. And my expectation is it will not happen. It will not be attempted. And my expectation is a lot of it depends upon just how strongly the world makes clear that that kind of action is going to result in long-term disapprobation by the rest of the community.
Very quickly, you didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are?
That's the commitment we made. That's the commitment we made. We are not, look, here's the situation. We agree with a one China policy. We've signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force, just taken by force, is just not appropriate. It will dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger.
Well, Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida spoke alongside Joe Biden at that news conference, and he said the two countries agreed to jointly deal with issues related to China.
We concur to monitor closely recent activities of Chinese Navy and joint military exercise of China and Russia, and strongly oppose the attempt to change status quo by force in East China Sea and South China Sea, and Japan and the United States to closely cooperate on responding to China-related issues, including human rights.
Let's go live now to our Tokyo correspondent, Rupert Wingfield. Hayes, Rupert, welcome to you. Let's pick up on those comments from Joe Biden saying that the US would be prepared to step in militarily if Taiwan was invaded by China. In the past few minutes, we've had clarification from the White House saying there is no change in US policy towards Taiwan. What do you make of it?
Yes, well, as I said last hour, I expected the US, some part of the US government would start walking those comments back pretty quickly, and that indeed is exactly what's happened. They've said there's no change to the one China policy or to America's long-term commitment to helping Taiwan to defend itself. So that is the official US position. The US has always had, since 1979, since it dropped recognition of Taiwan and recognized the People's Republic of China, it has maintained this thing called the One China policy. That's the formula they came up with in order to establish relations. And it's always been a very uncomfortable position for the American government because it obviously has a great deal of feelings for the people of Taiwan, and it is a democracy. It is friendly to the West. So Joe Biden is today, if you like, is sort of unilaterally declaring, it looks like, an end to that one China policy. I mean, he hasn't, but effectively what he has said is we would intervene militarily if China unilaterally tries to stop or change the status quo. And I think, essentially what President Biden is saying is there is an international status quo, there is a rules-based order, and it is not acceptable for any country, whether it be Russia or China, to unilaterally use military force to try and change that status quo. And that's why he says Russia has to be punished, and that's why he's saying no to Beijing, no to China. You should not even think about contemplating this. It is not acceptable, and we will, with our allies, stop you from doing so.
Yeah, and very much the focus of these talks